DCA 10 by 10. I'm here with Michael Akinler. Is that pronounced correctly?
That is pronounced correctly.
Perfectly, from Panduit. I love speaking to Panduit. They've been on our front cover for the last 2 editions. It's great. Meet the people in person. Tell us about yourself. Tell us a little bit about what Panduit are up to.
Well, my name is Michael Akinler. I'm one of the business managers at Panduit. I've been with the company for coming up to 25 years. What are Panduit up to? Hopefully providing great solutions for the data center space, but let's not forget the enterprise and also industrial network type locations.
Okay, so you're not just in the data center world,
not just
you're
the data
all
center
over
world,
the place.
right.
Yeah, I remember from when I last spoke to you that you were involved in quite a few things. You were all every sector almost.
Well, we try. I mean, but at the end of the day, it's a key part of our business. You know, the data center marketplace has helped driven the technology.
Right.
But, you know, these technologies in terms of speed, latency, density, also filter down to other market segments. And, you know, the enterprise space in terms of connected buildings now, the amount of connectivity that's going into these spaces is absolutely huge. And let's not forget the industrial side of it. You know, whatever they make, it's critical. So their network has to be up and running 24/7. So these aspects are hugely important to everyone.
And you're there to help.
We hope.
Excellent. Right, so I'm looking at your presentation today, structured cabling for AI. Now, you're on a bit later, so don't give too much away, but give us a little soupçon, shall we say, of what it's about.
Well, I mean, from our perspective, look, at the end of the day, these AI networks are absolutely huge. They're incredible. They are complex in terms of what they're there to deliver. And latency is absolutely paramount. And one of the key things that these AI superpod builders really cherish above all else is latency. And from our perspective, they've gone about deploying these networks in an interesting way, direct connections. Now, from our perspective, we've seen a few challenges with these direct connect models in the sense that you have to effectively plan and organize and make sure you have exact lengths. That's pretty much impossible to do when you're building out these pods in data centers. So structuring the approach, making sure that you have a connection path that leads to a patch panel sequencing area so that you can have control over your lengths of structured cabling, control over your labeling, control over what's patched to where is hugely important. But with these extra connections, optical loss is introduced, and the big fear has been, will it introduce latency? And we have shown with some work, some testing that we've done, that it will not actually introduce that latency, that feared latency, because the topologies are already built to counter that. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be sharing some of those test results that we've generated over the past couple of months to try and make sure that people feel comfortable that, look, going structured from an AI perspective is the right thing to do, and it will not impact your latency.
That's awesome. I look forward to hearing this now. So 2 questions I've been asking everyone. What do you think the biggest challenge is in the next 12 months for, let's keep in the data center industry because of what we're talking about today? What do you think what the biggest challenges that Panduit are seeing that they may be addressing or maybe coming along in the next 12 months?
Huge growth. I mean, at the moment, we're looking at, even for the most basic pods, a hopper pod, a H100 pod, 8 times the amount of fiber being deployed within these particular aspects. When you go to the Grace Blackwells, and the higher pod elements, it's just a huge amount of fiber. So being able to deliver and install those in a timely fashion is going to be hugely critical to everybody within this particular space. So growth is certainly something that's going to be a big challenge to us. It's a nice challenge to have, but it's a challenge that we're going to have to meet because we then have to control our supply chains to make sure that we deliver for these amazing customer pods that are being built. But hey, look, Mark, we can't forget our existing customer base.
Exactly.
We've got to make sure that we're still looking after them. So that's a huge challenge that we're balancing.
The growth challenge for companies like yourself must be absolutely intense because we're not talking about linear growth. We're talking about exponential growth, effectively.
Yes, we are.
From there to there to there to there. It's not like a straight line graph.
It's a nice problem to have, but it is something that we're working towards managing ourselves. But hey, look, we welcome it. It's a good challenge to have, and we've got to rise to it, basically. Unfortunately, having an industry that has so many strong manufacturers, I think, is absolutely critical, and that's where competition, you begin to see the model working in this type of environment because, you know, you need that level of competitiveness out there so that people can work with other manufacturers other than Panduit, and that's
Yeah, the competition just shows that there's demand, and B, it drives the companies on to produce better and better and better.
We are driven by that. Yeah. Absolutely driven by that. Fantastic. And we have to be on the ball to make sure that the product set that we're offering. So, for example, going back to these AI models with the huge amount of density and driving them to a structured cabling approach, we've now developed models that will allow them to document and label those particular strengths of connections so that they know what's patched to where, and that's hugely important. And if you're looking at speed of delivery, if you then have the ability to actually document and actually feel confident, you know that, hey, what I'm patched to here, there, and everywhere is actually what should be implementing within the actual space you're working in.
Awesome. So last one.
Yes.
What are you excited about in the next 12 months?
Gosh.
And I'll let you go off piste. You don't even have to be, it doesn't even have to be data center. It can be data center. It'll be handy if it's data center, but you might be excited about something else, maybe a baby on the way, I don't know.
Can I be rude and say my handicap coming down?
Oh, really? What's your handicap? What's your handicap now?
Well, it was above 20. It's now below 20. So that's something that's
right,
really
yes.
exciting on the personal side. But from a work side of things, you know, look, we're working to continually build our team. It's a challenge. We have, you know, a huge amount of talent at the outset, but now we have to work out how we keep that talent. And that's something that we as an organization have to drive towards.
That's an awesome answer. Thank you, Michael. I hope you keep the handicap down.
So do I.
Struggle to keep mine. I struggle to keep mine at 13, but I know the pain. But listen, thank you so much for your time.
Lovely to
enjoy your presentation.
Thanks
Cheers,
again.
Michael.